stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Evening, City Council, Mayor Burcroft, City Attorney, City Treasurer, Deputy Clerk, and audience. This is the City of Romulus City Council regular meeting and today's date is Monday, June 4th, 2018. And at this time, the council meeting agenda calls for a roll call. Councilwoman Abdo. Here. Councilman Barton is absent. Councilwoman Roscoe.
Here.
Councilwoman Talley.
Here.
Councilman Wadsworth.
Here.
Councilwoman Webb. Here. Councilwoman Williams.
Here.
Madam Chair, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Tonight's council meeting agenda is as follows. Number 1, agenda. Number 2, minutes. Number 3, petitioner. Number 4, chairperson's report. Number 5 is the mayor's report. 6A, clerk's report. 6B, treasurer's report. 7, public comment. 8, unfinished business. 9, new business. 10, communication. And number 11 is adjournment. And a motion would be in order to accept the regular council meeting agenda as presented.
So moved to accept the agenda as presented.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Webb and supported by Ms. Roscoe to approve the agenda for the meeting for this tonight. Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved. And I'm sorry, I called you Ms. Chair. I'm sorry. Madam Clerk. I'm the chair for tonight. Thank you.
Number 2 are the minutes for approval. Agenda item 2A for approval of the minutes from the regular council meeting held on May 29th, 2018.
So moved for May 29, 2018.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo, to approve the minutes for the regular council meeting held May 29, 2018. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Agenda item 2B for approval are the minutes from the special open study session regarding the proposed addendum to the Romulus Ordinance, Section 36-357, notification of carrying a concealed weapon, and courts and law enforcement management information systems. A motion would be in order to accept the special study session minutes.
So moved.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Webb, supported by Ms. Abdo, to approve the minutes from the special open study session proposed addendum to the Romulus Ordinance, Section 36-357, notification of carrying a concealed weapon, and courts and law enforcement management information system, otherwise known as CLEMIS. Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Number 3 is petitioner. We do have a petitioner on the agenda this night. Madam Chair, this is a special land use request, SLU 2018-002, highway maintenance and construction located at 12101 Warman. And I'm not sure who is the presenter. The petitioner.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Is that better?
Thank you.
I'm Richard Vole. I'm the architect on the addition for 12101 Foreman Road. And we're here tonight seeking special land use approval and site plan approval, I believe pursuant to the recommendations of the Planning Commission meeting. We presented to them, I believe it was May 21st, and got their approval. General description of the project: there's an existing building and a contractor storage yard that's been there since 1988. The proposed project adds an office addition and a shop addition to the existing building. I believe you've got a package that has got the plans and the site plan. Guess I'd ask if there are any questions at this point.
Any questions from council? No questions? I do have a quick question. When I was reading through the package, I noticed that you have residential residents on either side of you. Have you had any pushback or any discussions with them? Have you heard any feedback with them regarding this proposal?
We have not. There been any comments? No.
Okay.
Might note that it's developed residential currently, but it's zoned light industrial on both sides.
Thank you. Okay.
Yes, I have a question.
Yeah. Ms. Abdo?
Have the residents on either side of you been notified of these changes?
I believe so. They probably were notified.
Yes. All right.
Thank you, Ms. Abdo. Any other questions, comments? Okay. Thank you.
At this time, then, a motion would be in order whether or not to adopt a resolution to approve the special land use request.
Madam Chair, I'll make that motion for special land use request SLU 2018-002, highway maintenance and construction at 12101 Mormon.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Webb, to approve the special land use request SLU-2018-002, highway maintenance and construction at 12101 Warman. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
No.
Okay. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Number 4 calls for the chairperson's report.
Oh, wow. Just want to first of all just acknowledge that we did have a open study session today at 5:30 to discuss the public safety millage. And then I do want to acknowledge that our regular chair is not in attendance. I'm up here, so have mercy. As I go through this, I thanks for my colleagues' support. And I do want to just offer up prayers for Mr. Barton as he travels with his family and wish him safe travels. And anyone else want to add anything? We'll close that portion out.
Madam Chair, I'll make a motion to accept your report.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Webb, to accept the chairperson's report. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Number 5 is the mayor's report.
Good evening, City Council, Treasurer, Clerk, Deputy Clerk, and audience. Quote I brought tonight goes as this, no surprise. Government's first duty and highest obligation is public safety. And with that, I just want to thank everybody who came out and voiced all their opinions and look forward to the next steps in the process. We do have a video clip also to run tonight, if we could run that, please.
Wee Soccer, along with trips to Crosswinds Marsh and Nankin Mills. The Farmers Market will kick off its summer season Wednesday, June the 13th at the Historical Park from 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. and will run through September the 26th. On Wednesday, June the 13th, will be the 3rd annual prayer breakfast with Mayor Burkroff. Coffee and check-in at 7:30 a.m. Breakfast and program begins at 8. Proceeds to go to benefit the Romulus Drug Task Force Scholarship Program. The annual Flag Day ceremony will be held Thursday the 14th. The proceedings will begin at 11:30 at the Senior Towers and then move across the street to the Senior Center. As usual, the Romulus VFW will hoist the flags. A lunch will follow. On Friday, June 15th, will be the 27th annual Romulus Rotary Golf Outing at Links Gateway. Shotgun start at 9 a.m. The first free movie in the park will be held on Friday the 15th at the Historical Park. The movie will be the highly critically acclaimed Black Panther. Movie starts at dusk. The Greater Romulus Chamber of Commerce will hold its monthly business luncheon at the Hilton Garden Inn on Smith Road, Tuesday, June 19th. This month's speaker will be Matt Webb, the COO of the Regional Transit Authority. Registration begins at 11:30. On Friday the 22nd will be the First Sounds in downtown. Our first band will be Toppermost, who do a fantastic tribute to the Beatles. Concert begins at 7 p.m. at the Freight House in the Historical Park. To find out more about our community events, go to the locations noted on your screen. Thank you.
Thank you, Dennis. Known are my action items for my report. First up is item A, and it's a recommendation from my office and Steve Hitchcock, our legal counsel, and it's to concur with the administration, authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached authority to represent agreement, a professional service agreement, and adopt the attached resolution declaring that the unlawful distribution of prescription-controlled substances has created a public nuisance and a serious public health and safety crisis for the city of Romulus. So this is, we're asking to engage with this firm to represent us in the opioid epidemic.
So moved, Madam Chairman, for the professional services and representation agreement of the opioid crisis.
Support.
Been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Webb, to approve the, authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached authority to represent agreement, professional service agreement, and adopt the attached resolution declaring that the unlawful distribution of prescription controlled substances has, what am I reading? I'm sorry. To accept that we enter into this agreement for the opioid crisis. Mr. Wadsworth.
Yes.
Ms. Webb.
Yes.
Ms. Williams.
I would like to ask a question before I vote.
Okay.
Mayor, is it any fee to this, or?
I'll let Steve address that one.
If there's a recovery, we would have to pay our share of the fee out of what's recovered for the city, but if they don't recover anything for the city, there's no fees.
Yes.
Okay. Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next up is a request, a recommendation from Carol Mays, our planner, and Stephen Hitchcock, legal counsel, and it's a request to concur with administration, authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached professional service agreement for ongoing and an as-needed planning, zoning, landscape architect, and development advisory, and urban design consultant. The contract assigned to the city of Romulus includes Kathleen Duffy from Smith Group JJR and Carmine Advanti and CIB Planning, Inc.
Madam Chair, I'll make that motion for Smith Group, JJR, and CIB Planning Incorporated, ongoing professional services contracts for the planning department.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Mr. Wadsworth for this, to adopt the Smith Group, JJR, and CIB Planning, Inc. ongoing professional services contract planning department. Any discussion?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me get this hat going.
Okay. Yes, do we currently have someone that does this for us? Are we switching, or is this an added service? that
This
we're
is the
going
same person that changed companies. So yes, we had someone, they're continuing to work on the projects. This professional services is the new company.
Thank you, Ms. Abdo. Ms. Williams?
Yes, I would just like to add that I spoke with Carol Mays earlier, and in detail, she explained that the representative for this company worked with another company previously. She switched companies, and so now this is the company she's working for. And this is, I was concerned that why is the city hiring a contractual company to do this type of work, and Carol informed me that this is what they've been doing for years, so I'm in agreement.
Okay. Ms. Webb?
I'm in agreement as well.
Okay. So, Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next up is item C, and this is to concur the recommendation of Tim Keys, Economic Development, and our legal counsel. It's to concur with the administration, authorize the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached contract modification number 4, and that's for the Vining E-Course Road construction project for Dan's Excavating. The amount is a minus $2,371.17, and you see the listed new project costs.
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes, Ms.
I'd
Webb?
like to make that motion to concur with the administration and enter into the attached contract modification number 4 for the Vining and E-Course Road construction project with Dan's Excavating.
Support.
I'm sorry, it's been motioned by Ms. Webb, supported by Ms. Roscoe. Do we have any discussion? Okay, roll call vote. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next up is item D, and this is a recommendation that came from Roberto Scapitici, DPW Director, and our city engineers, OHM, to request a concur of the administration and authorize ITB bid 16/17-20, change order number 1 for the Junction subdivision, crack sealing, and also to extend additional locations on Goddard Road, Grant Road, and Wickham Road with a competitive pricing provided by Cars Outdoor Service. The amount's $12,100.
So moved, Madam Chairman, for bid 16/17-20, the Junction crack sealing project. Number 1.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Abdo, to approve the ITB 17/17/20, the Junction Sub-Crack Ceiling Project, change order number 1. Any discussion?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Living in the Junction sub, and I realize we did vote on this. This is a contract. It did not include the extension of the other areas. Now, I don't know if you need to bring that contract, a rewritten contract for the $12,000, because I don't understand how we can extend a contract that we don't have in that area. This was strictly the Junction sub, not the other streets. Wick Road to Merriman, that's on the other side of town. That's not down here. So I can't vote to extend a contract that was contracted for the Johnson, the subdivision where I live, and extend it over to Wick and Merriman. Don't we need to get a new contract with this company?
This is to extend the existing contract
Yeah.
to cover the new area. So the terms and conditions that were in the
Same.
original contract will be the same.
Yeah, but it's under the Junction subcontract.
It's with one vendor.
That was the name of it, but it's the same vendor doing the work.
Yeah, but it's not the same subdivision. It's not this was for a Junction sub crack sealing project. ITB 17/18-20. This was not for Goddard Road, Wayne to 5 Points. It was not for 5 Points to railroad tracks. It is not for Wick Road to Merriman. I just wanted some explanation on it.
Good evening, council. Essentially, what we've done is we've solicited with the contractor to extend his pricing for alternate locations. So this is where we would expect that council would approve this change order to move forward for those other locations. So we have done this in the past. I don't know that we're violating any ordinance or purchasing ordinance, but we have done this in the past.
Any other discussion? Roll call vote. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
No.
Ms. Williams?
No.
Chair votes yes. We got enough?
Yes.
Got enough?
Got it.
Oh, okay. Motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next up is a recommendation from Lynn Conway, Purchasing Director, Josh Monty, Police Captain, and Robert McCrate, Public Service Director. And this is to concur with administration, award bid ITB 17/18-24 to the second lowest bidder, ABS Storage Products, for the needed upfitting of the two 2018 police interceptors. The total amount $16,634, and that's for City of Romulus Public Works. The funds have been verified and come out of the motor vehicle fund for vehicle and equipment.
Madam Chair, I'll make that motion for ITB 16/17-24 for the upfitting for 2 Ford Police Interceptors.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, to approve the ITB 16/17-24 upfitting for 2 Ford Police Interceptors. Any discussion?
I do have a question, and I don't mean to be dominating, but, I just have questions. In regards to these police interceptor vehicles, are these the same ones that we voted on last month? These are the,
Good
these
evening,
are the
Council.
new interceptors, correct?
Yes, they are the
Okay,
utilities that we have.
and at that time, I asked the question, are they coming fully dressed? And it was yes, for the amount that council voted on. Now, they're not fully dressed, or in other words, they don't have all the equipment that they need. And you can run that tape back. I asked that question, and I was told they're fully operational. I was just asking a question.
Correct. That was for the motors, though, not for the interceptors.
That's what I was asking. Was this for that?
No.
Okay,
This is for the
Fine.
utilities. This is for our cars.
okay. Thank you.
Any other discussion? Okay. We'll go with roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next is a request from Lynn Conway, Purchasing Director, and J.D. Settles, Public Safety Director, and this is to concur the administration award ITB bid 17/18-42 to the most responsive and responsible bidder, Motor City Harley Davidson, for the needed upfitting for the 2018 motorcycles in the amount of $12,427, and that's for the Romulus Police Department traffic.
Through the chair, if I may,
Yes,
I'll
Ms.
make that motion since I realize and understand what's going on now. To concur with administration and award the bid to the most responsible bidder, Motor City Harley Davidson, for the needed upfitting for the 2018 Harley Davidson motorcycle.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Webb, supported by Ms. Roscoe, to approve the ITB 16/17-42, upfitting for police traffic motorcycle. Any discussion? No discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. The next action item, there's actually two different motions required. This is a recommendation from Lynn Conway, Purchasing Director, and Roberto Scapitici, DPW Director. The first motion is to concur with administration and award ITB bid 17/18-44 to the lowest, most responsive and responsible bidder, TSP Services, Inc., for both the base work and the additional optional work requested in the bid. Total amount, $45,832. These funds have been verified and budgeted out of the Oakwood Special Assessed District and part of the Public Service Maintenance Expense account.
I'm so moved, Madam Chairman, for the first motion of bid 17/18-44 to the lowest bidder, which is a TSP Services, in the amount of $45,832.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe, to approve the award, the bid ITB 17/18-44 to the lowest, most responsive bidder at TSP Services. Any discussion? No discussion, we'll have a roll call vote. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you. And the second motion required would be to concur with administration, authorize a 10% contingency, which would allow for additional $4,583.20 in change orders to be paid to TSP for any unforeseen work discovered during their work.
Madam Chair, I'll make that motion for the second part of ITB 16/17-44 for the Pine Drive Storm Sewer Pump Station repairs, and the additional amount of $4,583.20 and change orders to be paid to TSP Services for any additional unforeseen work discovered during the performance of the contracted work.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Webb, to approve the ITB 16/17-44 Pine Drive Storm Sewer Pump Station repairs for the 10% contingency to allow for up to an additional $4,583.20 for additional unforeseen work. Any discussion? No discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next up is a request, a recommendation that came through Jasmine Dancy, Community Services Director, and this is to concur with the administration and extend RFP 15/16-08 and allow the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached contract with American Fireworks Company in the amount of $12,500 or greater, pending any sponsorships received beyond that, for the 2018 community firework display, and the funds have been verified, and as you know, we always do cover that cost with sponsorships.
Through the chair, if I may.
Yes, Ms.
I'd
Webb.
like to make that motion to concur with the administration and extend the RFP 15/16-18 and allow the mayor and clerk to enter into the attached contract with American Fireworks Company.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Webb, supported by Ms. Roscoe, to approve the extension of the RFP 15/16-08 Community Fireworks contract with American Fireworks Company in the amount of $12,500 or greater, pending sponsorship received for the 2018 Romulus Community Fireworks Display. Discussion. Ms. Abdo?
So Mayor, am I to understand that this cost will be assumed by donors? And-
Yes.
That's what I thought you said, but I just want to make sure.
Absolutely.
Do we have a list of those donors so
We
that
can get you a list.
Well, I just thought we could acknowledge them
We
publicly.
will be at the program, yes.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next action also is two motions required. The first is to concur with the administration, adopt a resolution in support of the application with the state of Michigan for those 2018 fireworks.
Madam Chair, I'll make that motion to concur with administration for the application. State of Michigan for the 2018 fireworks.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Mr. Wadsworth, to concur with administration and adopt a resolution in support of the application with the state of Michigan for the 2018 fireworks events. Any discussion? No discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
And the second motion for that is just to concur with administration and authorize a no-fee permit for the 2018 Romulus fireworks on city property south of Ecorse Road, a no-fee permit for 2 food trailers and 1 glow product tent on the school property, and approval of the closure of Osga between Tyler and Wick at 9 p.m. through 12 a.m. To expedite the flow of traffic after the fireworks are complete.
Madam Chair?
Yes, Ms.
I'll make
Abdo.
that motion to approve the no-fee permits associated with the fireworks and the road closures also associated with fireworks.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Abdo, supported by Ms. Roscoe, to approve the no-fee permit for the 2018 Romulus fireworks, property south of Ecorse, no-fee permits for the 2 food trailers and the glow product tent on the school property, and approval of the closure of the roads between 9 and 12, between Tyler and Wick, to expedite the flow of traffic when the fireworks are complete. Any discussion? No discussion, roll call vote. Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, motion approved.
Thank you, council. Next up is a request for a budget amendment introduction, and this is to concur with administration, introduce amendment 17/18-32 to increase the RAC building operating cost transfer from TIFA to RAC budget for fiscal year 17-18 to cover the costs associated at the RAC, which were attached.
Madam Chair, I'll make that motion to concur with administration and introduce budget amendment 17/18-32 to increase the RAC building operating cost transfer from TIFA to the RAC budget for fiscal year 17-18 to cover costs associated with the RAC.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Ms. Abdo, to approve the increase, the introduction of the budget amendment 17/18-32 to increase the RAC building operating cost transfer from TIFA to the RAC budget for fiscal year end 17-18 to cover costs associated with the RAC. Any discussion? No discussion. Roll call vote. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Thank you, council. And the last item for action is a request to concur with the administration and approve the appointment of Donald Morris to fill the vacated term of William Crova for the Healthcare Plan Trustee Committee.
Madam Chairman, I'll move that we appoint Donnie Morris to fill the vacancy of William Crova on the Healthcare Plan and Trust, and that a second motion is also to be sent to Mr. Crova for his time he served on it.
Support.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Webb, to approve, to concur with the administrator and approve the appointment of Donald Morris to fill the vacated term of William Crova for the Health Care Plan and Trust Committee. Any discussion? Roll call vote. Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Thank-
And we have another piece of that.
Yeah, that a resolution be sent to Mr. Crova for his time he served, and thanking him for serving on the Healthcare Committee.
Yeah, that was
Support.
supported.
It's been motioned by Mr. Wadsworth, supported by Ms. Roscoe, to approve a resolution for Mr. Crova for time served on the Healthcare Plan and Trust Committee. Any discussion? No discussion. Roll call vote. Mr. Wadsworth? Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Thank you, council. That completes my report.
6A is the clerk's report. We have one item under the clerk's report this evening, and that's 6A1. This is for second reading and final adoption to amend Romulus Ordinance 36-357, notification of concealed weapon.
So moved. I'm sorry.
Support.
It's been motioned by Ms. Webb, supported by Ms. Roscoe, to approve the second reading, final adoption to amend Romulus Ordinance 36-357, notification of carrying a concealed weapon. Any discussion? Yeah, Ms. Abdo?
I mentioned this last week. I just want to mention it again for those people who do carry concealed weapons. This ordinance states that if you are not in the car with your weapon, if you're leaving your weapon in the car, it must be either locked in the trunk or in a lockbox. And so I just want you to be aware of that so you can follow those rules. Thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Abdo. Ms. Williams?
And I would like to just thank the police captain for correcting that, that particular, item under section 36-357C. Thank you.
Thanks, Ms. Williams. Roll call vote. Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth?
Yes.
Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Chair votes yes. Motion approved.
Thank you. That concludes the clerk's report. 6B is the treasurer's report.
Good evening, council, mayor, clerk, and deputy clerk, as well as the audience. I have one item to report. I'd like to remind the residents that next week, June 11th, there is a study session for the treasurer's quarterly report where I do talk about the investments and the benchmark. So if you are interested, I look forward to seeing you June 11th at 7 o'clock. Thank you.
Thank you, Stacy.
Number 7 is public comment. Individuals who would like to address City Council, you must raise your hand. And when recognized by the chair, approach the podium and please state your name. Remarks shall be limited to 3 minutes, subject to being extended an additional 3 minutes by consent of the chair. There shall be no personal attacks, and remarks shall not contain any profanity, racial, ethnic, sexual, or national origin slurs or overtones. Anyone not adhering to this rule shall lose their right to address City Council. A response to any questions and concerns will be provided under agenda item number 8, unfinished business, and that's only if the information is available. Otherwise, responses that require further investigation will be given at a later date. We do not have any written requests.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Do we have any comments from the audience? Don?
Good evening, council, fellow citizens. For those who do not know me, my name is Don Mongrain. I am the current serving president of the Romulus Democratic Club. And I come before you tonight to let you know about an event we have going on Wednesday, June 20th. As you all know, there is a vacancy in the congressional seat held by Congressman John Conyers, and there are currently 9 people on the ballot in the Democratic primary to replace him. We are holding a candidate forum on Wednesday, June 20th at 7 p.m. at the Romulus Rec Center. And as of now, we have secured the participation of all 9 candidates. And as I'm sure you know, whoever wins the primary for this seat is, unless a giant meteor strikes, going to be the person who holds that seat. And as past history has shown, whoever wins that seat in November could very well hold it for the rest of most of our natural lifespans. So I ask, please, everybody, come on out, see who these candidates are so you can make an informed decision on August 7th in the primary and then in November. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. Do we have any other comments? Yes, please.
Hello, City Council, Honorable Mayor. I'm Coleman Alexander Young II. I'm one of those 9 people who are running for Congress of the 13th District. I just wanted to come by here very briefly just to say I heard about the conversation a little bit earlier about the fire, police and fire millage. I think that you're talking about levying. I just want to let you know I'm a state senator currently, and I'm working on legislation right now to make sure that we provide more money through revenue sharing. There's more money for police and fire and emergency services personnel, and I have a 12-year record of doing that. I have appropriated $6.8 million for low-income heating and food assistance, which allows us to draw down $300 million to this state. I appropriated $2 million to Focus Hope, and I've appropriated over $550,000 to Charles H. Wright Museum. So I bring home the bacon as a state senator. I will hopefully continue to do that as your next congressman, and I just want to tell you anything I can do, please let me know. I will leave my information here for you. Always an honor and privilege. I see why Romulus is the pride and joy of Wayne County and the state of Michigan. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Senator. Mr. Miller.
Good evening, Charles Miller. This past week, there was an article that was written about a home in Romulus with high lead levels. That article prompted me to get in touch with the writer of the article, and in doing so, I learned a few things which were interesting, even though they were written in the article. One of the things was that particular high level of lead is of concern. Number one, it has lead pipes into the house. That is a problem within itself. They now are required to test 30 homes with lead pipes, 30 homes without lead pipes, copper pipes. The interesting thing I found along the way in the conversation with this young lady was the fact that there are a number of houses on the street that my daughter lives on that are on the list for houses to be tested, which indeed have lead pipes. The problem with that is my daughter's house is on that street, and it indeed does have lead pipes, and it's not on that list. And I just had shortly ago, I had the city water people out there. They know that it's a lead pipe. My granddaughter, Zoe, is 18 months old. She has never drank water from the tap in the city of Romulus without a filter. And if she goes away from there to my house, which has copper pipes, she drinks bottled water. She's never drank out of the tap, the city of Romulus. The reason for that is this. I understand that her home has lead pipes. That in itself is a definite problem. And according to this young lady that I talked to, there is a move in the state to have the municipalities change those lead pipes, because it was under the municipalities that the lead pipes were allowed in the beginning. Now, whether that comes about or not is yet to be determined. But as I stood here over 18 months ago and brought this to the attention of this community. I make no accusations or claims whatsoever in regards to whether the water in the city of Romulus is not good. That's not where my interest lies. My interest lies the same time, or the same way that I was when I was here last time, was to that if you want to gamble, go downtown and gamble. But if you want to be confident that the water that your children are drinking, you need a lead test kit. To first test the water, it's $30. And second, you need a 99.9 lead filter for your water. This situation in the city of Romulus is not exclusive to the city of Romulus. There are over 20 communities right now that are going through the same problem. And I don't know that the city of Romulus really understands or has the numbers of the households that indeed have lead drinking water pipes. Now, there is a situation where if you can afford to have that removed from the house, it would probably be in great interest to remove it. Lead is one of the most dangerous heavy metal substances to the human mind. This high levels of lead can make your children less intelligent. It's that simple. So I would encourage once more, 2 years later almost, to the citizens, if you can afford a lead test kit, and if you can afford to put a 99.9 lead water filter, please, please, for the welfare of your children and the confidence that you understand that they're drinking wholesome and good water, please change them. Thank you kindly.
Thank you, Mr. Miller.
Thank you.
This is Home Depot. It's $30. Not only, may I?
Oh, sure.
Not only does it give you the lead, it gives you about 12 other different tests that you can test whether you have all sorts of high things within your water. So it'll give you the full complement of whether your water is good or not.
Thank you, Mr. Miller. Let me get Ms. Lemon, and then I'm going to come back over to you, Amy.
Good evening, council. Please excuse my voice. I'm allergies. As you all know, Jan Lemon, lifetime resident of Romulus, has sat in that chair for 5 years. Haven't missed too many meetings. Tonight, it was wonderful to see all these people here. They need to stay involved. These kind of meetings that was held tonight about whether we get a vote or whether we don't get a vote isn't on TV. You have to come and pay attention to what's going on in your city if you want to know. There was a few things I took offense to, and I don't know who said Stacy never gives us anything. Stacy's here all the time. She's always boring me with her details. But she is here, and she's already set up another one. The lady who says we are a divided city, I beg her pardon. Carmelita Johnson was here. She was one of my dearest friends. Officer Shelby back here. Mrs. Williams, I have a mixed neighborhood, whatever you want to call it. Some people just moved in across the street. I went over and introduced myself. I'm here most of the time. If you need anything, just come across. Romulus is not a divided city. Back in the 50s, our city was wonderful. I had tap class with everybody. Race was never an issue in the city of Romulus, never. And I'm going on 78 years here. About our downtown, everybody wants something done downtown. The city of Romulus does not own the buildings downtown. I'm sorry, Tim, you can't get anybody to come, but we do not own the buildings. I think this administration and this council has tried to get things to come downtown. They've tried to get us a shopping center. They get our hopes all built up only to keep us hanging for 6, 8, 10 months, and then you say, oh, geez, it's not possible. That is not the mayor's fault. That is not Tim Key's fault. That is not the council's fault. These people want their name in the paper like they're going to do something big, and then they don't do anything. So please, council, just keep up the best work you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lemon. And Amy, I'm gonna get you, Mom, next. Amy.
Good evening, everyone. And Ms. Taylor, you're doing a fine job as chair. So.
Thank you.
As some of you may know, I'm the chair of the Michigan Democratic Party Disability Caucus. And Saturday, June 16th, we're having our first annual awards dinner. Some of you might be saying, why am I asking you for money when we just spent that last hour fighting about it? But we're raising money for a great cause. It's $30 a ticket, and even if you can't go and just want to buy a ticket anyway, all the money, all the funds raised we're renting wheelchair accessible vans, because what are the people that don't get to go out and vote? The disabled seniors, the disabled veterans, and other disabled people that are in wheelchairs. So we're going throughout the state and renting wheelchair accessible vans and taking them out to the polls. And we're also working with them to do absentee ballots. I have a flyer here and I have some out there for the link. And the link also has something called a Survey Monkey, if you've never heard of it. And if you know anyone that's disabled, they can sign up there to the bus, or if they want help filling out an absentee ballot. So I'd like to see any of you there, or donating your money, or or volunteering to drive the buses if you feel comfortable. They're not that big, but if you want to volunteer, you can talk to me too. Thank you very much.
Amy, what's the date of that?
Saturday, June 16th, so a week from this Saturday. It's from
Gotcha.
6 to 9. Should have said UAW Local 600 in Dearborn, and the keynote speaker is Honorable John Dingle.
Thank you. Reverend Talley. Mom.
Hello, council, mayor, everybody, community. First of all, who's working on the construction? Behind the construction in the city that's going on?
Which construction?
The construction of Ecorse Road, where they're expanding the roads there.
Well, we'll do it on the unfinished business, so you can state what you want to say, and then the mayor address it on the
Okay, I just
unfinished
want to say, I am so glad they're doing a great job. I thought I was just gonna run into all kinds of headaches and everything, but thus far, it has been really nice for me. I don't know about nobody else, because I kind of dreaded it. Oh my goodness, I'm gonna get out. So I just want to make a comment and say that they're good, whoever they are, they're doing a good job. And I think they need to be commended on that. And I watch them as they work, and they got a relationship and all that. So I just wanted to comment, and I also wanted to comment on yours, Ms. Lemon. This is a great city. This is a wonderful city. I'm a great person, all of you great people. But you know, sometimes we carry things, and we need healing. Healing in this city, because people are hurting. Because when I come into these meetings, sometimes I just don't say nothing because everybody's so angry. What are we angry at? Who we angry with? You know, I want to come in here and let's just sit down and talk like we grown people. If you're not, whoever got something to say, let's just respect that and just take it in, because somebody knows something we don't know. We just don't dismiss everything. That's the way I feel. That's my feeling. And I think I'm praying much for unity, and unity in all areas of our lives. There's a lot of pain, much. That's why I didn't say nothing. People don't listen. if they hurting or if they mad, if they upset. They're not listening to nothing you're saying. They too busy trying to get across what they want to get across, and if it's not what they want to get across, they're not gonna listen. And but you did good, honey. You still, she did a great job. Yes, she did. And I did come to support her, and she loves the city. She loves the people. She loves everybody in here. And I'm not trying to get no plugs for nothing. I'm just telling the truth. We got to get it together because this is a wonderful city, and we need more and more prayer. And we do pray in this city. Prayer changes things. Prayer changes us. He changed me. But I want to come in and just sit down and let's have a conversation here. Lay down all the egos or whatever going on. It's just too much noise. So thank you, council and mayor and all of you, this whole city. And another thing I want to say, we say a lot of stuff, but until you get into and look into the place like our schools. There's a lot going on in our schools. You need to come in there and look. I'm not saying you haven't, but if you come in there, you will see the need to have this millage passed. Is that all right for me to say? I said it. But it does. We got some problems. We got some issues in our schools. And until we come in there and volunteer, because that's why I know now. Because see, when I became a volunteer in the school, what kept me in the school was I always saw the need to be in the school. So once you realize the need, then it's not hard to remain and give everything you got to endeavor to keep the unity and peace in that particular area where you work, where you counsel, all of this. When you see the need, you're going to do everything possible to keep that unity. Not to say we got to agree on everything, but somehow let's do it respectful. I just cannot take disrespect or disregard to anybody. Nobody should be able to do that. Because you know, we got our children watching. Oh, they watch. Oh, that's how you do that, huh? See, they're looking to us. So otherwise, it's a good turnout. I thank God, and that's all right. Let them come out. That's why we're here. But let's listen, and then see what kind of solution or happy medium we can come to. Amen, Mayor? Make your job easier, one. Make y'all job easy. Make it all easy for us. Amen. So God bless you all. Thank you. Love you, daughter. You are really terrific out there. I'm proud of you.
Thank you, Reverend Talley, Mom. Thank you. I'm sorry, I'm going to get this gentleman, then come back to you, Don.
Hello. My name is Troy Turner. This is my first time ever coming to this, so I'm just interested in listening to everything that's going on. But I've been here since 2005, when I first moved here with Avalon Meadows. That's when it seemed like, you know, all the houses were being built, and then we went through the recession and things slowed down, and we saw the foreclosures and everything. But you know, I've been staying here for a while, and you know, I want to spend my money here. I'm going to be working for a long time, so I'm not retired. I'm not a senior citizen yet, but I'm still making good money, and you know, but my money goes somewhere else. I mean, only thing that I spend my money on, everybody, let's go to Family Dollar here. My money goes there. They just built Tim Hortons, my money goes there. And pretty much that's it, because when I first got here in 2005, there was a grocery store. I go out to Belleville, I go to the Canton, I go all these restaurants, I spend my money going to restaurants out in Canton and Westland. I go to Best Buy all the time. But I don't spend much money here in Romulus. It's just Family Dollar. So, I mean, I don't know what the plans is, because this is my first time coming here, but what is the future for Romulus? I mean, bringing more businesses here, because you got more residents like trying to move here. Even in my area, they're about to build homes again. But if people move over here, where are we gonna go? There's no restaurants for us to go, so it's kind of like I'm staying out in the country, basically. We're nowhere to go, and I got to go everywhere else to spend my money. I would like to spend my money here where my community that I support. But it's hard to support your community when it's not a lot here. Besides just building a Taco Bell here or, you know, Tim Hortons, but all my money's going to Family Dollar, where I can go to a grocery store. I got to go to, you know, Walmart in Belleville. Or I got to go to, you know, on Fort Rock, I got to go to Home Depot. There's maybe a hardware store maybe that used to be, I guess, in downtown around. So I don't know if it's still there, but they probably can't compete with somebody at Home Depot because of the prices. Eventually going to drive them out, but because there's not a lot of things, there's no competition. So, I mean, just, you know, I'm not asking you to sell me false hope, but what are some of the plans for this community?
Thank you, Mr. Troy. And we'll address some of your comments on the unfinished business. Thank you. Any other comments? Yes, Don.
Just real quick, I realized I was remiss in not saying thank you to the mayor for graciously being willing to cover the cost of the hall for the candidate forum, as we are a club that's just starting to doing fundraisers and things again. We were reaching out to members of the community, asking them to help cover the price, and the mayor was gracious enough to cover the entire price so that we can bring this to our city. So thank you.
Thank you, Don. Thank you, Mayor. Any other comments from the audience? No other comments? We're going to close that piece out.
Number 8 is unfinished business.
We have any unfinished, Mayor, did you, I'm sorry, Ms. Williams?
Yes, I would like to just let the audience know, those at home and those that's sitting here today, that I spoke with our economic director, Tim Keys, and I've spoke with Julie about it and our planner, and we really need to pay attention to the needs of the folks. I mean, I understand we have a master plan, but that master plan must be redirected in a different area where it's gonna benefit all people. You know, we say everybody come together. Well, we got 4 corners of this city, and the only way to bring them together, where I think the best way to bring them together, is somewhere over off of Wick and Vining, because that's the central location for all people. Because, I mean, downtown can be something part of the historic area, because the city does not own enough property to even grow downtown like we expect. So what we need to do is like start thinking outside the box, because it's too many residents, young and old, that's saying we want somewhere to spend our money. And as long as I've been in this city, I'm taking my tax dollars and taking it somewhere else and helping to build up Belleville, Taylor, Westland, Wayne. So we have to stop playing around with words and put those into actions and really start doing something. And I believe if we promote this city like we should, we can get businesses here. And it shouldn't just be Family Dollar and Dollar Generals, because that's a blow to the residents to go and buy and only have to buy from those type of stores. We need somewhere like a Target's, or, you know, somewhere where we can actually buy a bottle of dish liquid and you can get more than one sud after a whole, you know, half a bottle. I mean, seriously, I mean, we really, you know, everybody said come together, stop arguing. Well, everybody is angry, to Reverend Talley's point. A lot of folks are angry because they are sick and tired of not having anything. You know, and I think our city, I think our elected officials, I think our department heads, we need to put our heads together. Sidewalks is one of the main things, because we should not be building a $17 million court, and for those that don't have transportation, don't have sidewalks to get to it. And so many days I see individuals walking down the edge of the road. That is too dangerous. If we say we care about our residents, we need to do something about it. We need to go to the state. We need to go to Wayne County. They need to start doing something to put more money in the city, especially since we're not getting as much as we should from the airport. So, you know, I've spoke with Tim Keys and the planner and mayor. We just need to do more for the residents versus what we think we want.
Thank you, Ms. Williams. Mr. Wadsworth?
If I could, Mayor, is there any progress in the grocery store downtown? Is there still interest being shown?
Yeah, there's still interest being shown. I mean, but we have people looking at it. Here's what we need to do. I guess Troy, to your question and what's the plan? We went through a visioning process. We updated it. We did listen. The people that are involved in the visioning were residents. So they told us, number one, jobs, economic growth. That's what we've been working on. Economic growth brings jobs, brings opportunity, brings rooftops. That's what the retail experts tell us we're lacking in the studies that they have. What I would say is that number one economic growth area is Vining and Wick. We heard that from the residents. Number two was downtown. So you see all our efforts in Vining and Wick is because of that, as well as downtown. We invested, we used federal money to actually do a fix-up downtown to help bring, I don't know if you remember the road going through downtown. We had people standing here at the podium that were screaming about it. So we're doing, the government side of it, the resident side of it. We need to support businesses when they do come. I'll give you one example, and I go there every Sunday, is the Motor City Meats. They came in, they invested, they took an existing building, and they're providing, I tell you what, one of the best, not just butcher shop, but deli services in this area. Where, you're right, way too much of our money goes to other communities, mine as well. I always try to support, excuse me, Mr. Miller, I'm talking, thank you. So basically what we need to do is try to keep our money and support the businesses that are here. That's my point. We are driven to go other places because we don't have some of those services. We can't give up. We do have a master plan that gets revised. So when we get the business, all I ask the residents, if it's a grocery store, if it's another store, please support it. Keep that money here if possible, because if not, they'll be gone. And so, we're working the strategy of jobs, rooftops, bringing opportunities for those business opportunities. It has to be an entrepreneurial, success for them. They want to make money, right? They're for profit. So they want to come here, set up shop, get support of our residents and our businesses and do that. I can tell you that we're very pro-business. We've been doing business-to-business expos, and really it's, local government. We're just bringing people together so they can spend their money in town. We have a place here that has granite tops. Did you know that? Specialize in granite. We have people coming from all other areas. So, we should be supporting those. If there's another business that's going to add on or a residential development, they should at least look at them first, make sure that they give them a first look to keep those dollars here. And by bringing businesses together, we've got a ton of successes, not enough, but we need to keep doing more of that. I don't disagree with more, but we need to keep working our plan smarter and harder. And those are just a couple things I can share with council and with you in this public meeting. If you want to come in and get into details, I'd love to have you come in, set an appointment. I'll share with you what we're doing and what's working and what's not.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Any more comments on unfinished business?
Number 9 is new business. Number 10 is communication.
Ms. Williams?
I would like to, several months ago, we approved moving money from the community block grant to purchase a fire truck. What's going on with that? With the fire truck?
Evening, Mayor, Council. So part of the CDBG request is all funneled through Wayne County, and we've submitted our request to Wayne County. They go through the programming, and they have to give approval to that programming. The request that we made was for next year's fiscal funds, so we can't touch any of that. We're waiting for that approval from Wayne County when they approve their budget, and then that's for, it'd be 18-19 fiscal year, so we can't even touch any of those funds until July 1st of this year.
When we voted to take money that was originally supposed to go to community projects to buy a fire truck. So what happened to that money?
What we presented to council was a pre-commitment for the next 5 years' funds. It wasn't for funds that were already allocated to general budget or anything like that. It was for future funds that were that would be dedicated from CDBG funds to Romulus for that fire truck. It's nothing that was from this current fiscal year or from general funds here.
Because I was under the impression that we were redirecting that money so the firemen can buy a truck because they were in desperately need of a fire truck like then, not next year.
We still are in need of that same fire truck. We've had multiple issues with the frontline pumper that we've had. DPW has been, very expeditious in addressing any of those issues and keeping that fire truck on the road. But we're the city of Romulus. I can't force Wayne County to go through their process any faster. We've consistently asked for updates for those, and the funds aren't here now. They're future funds that we were asking for a 5-year pre-commitment for.
Okay, but those funds that I'm speaking of is we were gonna use them for the parks, the city was. So they redirected them from using them for the park and other community programs to use it for a fire truck. And if I'm not mistaken, I was told that Wayne County already approved the city to use that money for the fire truck. So how, now months later, you're waiting to be approved?
So this is the first time that you've spoke to me in regards to that. So I don't know the information that you're getting or where you're getting that information from. But what I can tell you is that there has been no approval yet. There never has been approval up until this point. Moving forward, we are still waiting for that approval. And I can't speak on behalf of the director of CDBG on what the programming normally is for those funds. But what we asked after sitting down and discussing this multiple different ways is a 5-year pre-commitment for the funds that are coming to the city of Romulus for the use of that fire truck.
So I'm confused on this because I spoke with Julie. Julie told me to speak with Maria Lambert, and she said that Wayne County had already approved those funds for a new fire truck. And now you're telling me that you're waiting until the 18-19 fiscal year? So where's the funds that was allocated for the fire truck?
We've never had any funds from this fiscal year. What was presented in front of council that evening was for future funding, a pre-commitment for future funding. We didn't ask, and council did not approve funds for this fiscal year. It was for future funding.
We also did try to, there were some additional funds like we picked up for the building next door that was unspent money, and Chief Kraus and I tried to get that money. We went to a meeting in Huron because if other communities had not spent money, it goes back into the county pool. We were not successful, but we did try. We were trying to work with our county commissioner and get that. They did award it to E-Course for demoing houses. We felt the fire truck was a higher need and a better need, so we're looking for those opportunities as well too. So once we were not successful at that, we started the request for future allocation, and it actually came as a recommendation from the director at CDBG at Wayne County.
So it was over 200, and I'm not for sure the correct dollar amount, but it was over $200-some thousand from the community block grant money.
Correct.
The Wayne County, right? So where's that money?
It's money that hasn't been allocated yet. It's future funds, 2018-19, 2019-20, 2020-21. So those funds, as they would come in each fiscal year, will be directed to the purchase of the fire truck.
Okay, so the money that the city is gonna use to put in the playscape down at the historic park, where's that money coming from? How is the city can use that money now, but the fire department can't use the money for the fire truck?
My understanding, that was already budgeted prior, correct? So, yeah, that was last year's.
See, this is my issue. I would like to speak with Julie and Maria again, because you can't say one thing at one point, and the lack of trust is a major issue. I mean, we just will face it. So what we need to do is sit down and have a meeting of the minds to make sure when we approve money to be for one agenda item, that's where it goes. Now, I'm not accusing anyone of doing anything, but I know good and well what was said at a meeting, and then all of a sudden now we're waiting on a fire truck. I'm thinking we got a brand new fire truck because it was like an emergency basis that we needed this fire truck. And then all of a sudden now you gotta wait until, what, after July?
Absolutely, until July 1st. There's nothing we can do about that. It's a Wayne County program. It's their resource, it's their funds. There is nothing I can do with that.
I
And
totally
I'd be more than glad to sit down with you, and we'll make sure that we have the agenda from that evening and the tape, because what we brought was for future funding. I did not bring anything in front of council for current budget year. It's all future funding.
Just a minute. So the information that Maria Lambert gave me saying that Wayne County approved the money already, what was that for? I'm just trying to get a clear
I don't know. I
understanding.
can't speak on behalf of another director. What I can tell you is that I've been in very, very close contact with Wayne County. I've gone through Maria, asked multiple times for updates. We have not received an approval yet to be able to spend that money. We can't, if we spend or attempt to spend any money currently out of this fiscal year of monies we don't have, it could void any future agreement we have.
So another issue, did the fire department get the grant that they normally get or that they've been getting for the last several years?
What grant?
So the fire department haven't had any grants in the last several years?
I've applied and I've received multiple grants from Marathon through FEMA, through Beaumont Mobile Health. I apply, I'm constantly applying for grants. So yes, I receive grant money all the time.
Okay, so I would like to sit down with you so I can see what kind of dollar amounts of the grants that we're getting.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thanks, Ms. Williams. Mr. Wadsworth?
If I could, to the chair, Kevin, it was my understanding that we were just setting up a process to, hoping that we could get a truck with these funds that were coming down the line.
Correct.
That was the purpose of that
Correct.
resolution, okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Wadsworth. Any other communication? Okay.
Number 11 is adjournment.
So move to adjourn.
Or,
It's been motioned by Ms. Roscoe, supported by Mr. Wadsworth to adjourn the meeting today. Ms. Roscoe?
Yes.
Mr. Wadsworth? Ms. Abdo?
Yes.
Ms. Webb?
Yes.
Ms. Williams?
Yes.
Chair votes yes, we are adjourned.